Hey everyone, God bless you. Thanks for tuning in. My reflection today I've entitled Welcome to the Metaverse. Welcome to the Metaverse. I better have a sip of coffee. Wait, where's my coffee? No, that's not it. Oh, wait. Could it be in here? Oh, what do you know? Yes, that's where it is. Oh, yes. Somehow the new PNP satchel there just stole my coffee mug. Anyway, what is the metaverse? What is the metaverse? If you've been following the developments lately of that great modern robber baron and tech titan Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, you'll know that he's all excited about the metaverse. And in fact, Facebook is changing its name or has changed its name to Meta for the metaverse. Facebook itself has become so dominant and so popular around the world in an effort to what they call connecting people. This is the purpose of Facebook. I remember many years ago, the first time I found out about Facebook, I was visiting some parishioners and they had us over for dinner and their son was missing. And I went looking for him to say hello, a wonderful young man. And he was uh, at his computer typing and looking at strange things, which I had never seen before. And I was wondering why, when his priest came over and he liked me and I liked him, he wasn't at the table. That should have been my first discernment about Facebook and how it kills real practical fellowship, like dinner table conversation. And I found him and I asked him, I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm on Facebook." I said, "Facebook? Well, what the heck is Facebook?" And then I saw on the side of his screen were all of these names and people typing things. And I said, "What is that?" And then I looked and there was a number, it said 424. He goes, "Oh, those are my friends." And I just naturally just started laughing my head off. I said, "Oh, you have 424 friends?" That irony would only grow deeper as I began to read about the life of Mark Zuckerberg and how he started his company Facebook by stabbing his best friend in the back. Hardly a person to use the word friends and to turn friends into digital acquaintances and degrade the significance of true friendship. Anyway, Facebook, after these years of connecting the world, so to speak, and building these kind of digital relationships, if we can call them that, is taking on a new step. They're going to transform their company and help create like a new ex nihilo project, the metaverse itself. What in the world is the metaverse? Well, the best I can tell, reading interviews and articles about the metaverse and listening to what Mark Zuckerberg is saying the metaverse is, it's some sort of internet experience on steroids, massive steroids. So the idea is that this is some sort of maximalist version of digital life where you combine social media, entertainment, work applications, all together in order to create an even more lifelike or a more realistic, quote unquote, presence, such that when you're talking to someone, for instance, Mr. Zuckerberg has used the concept of Zoom and how much he wants to surpass Zoom. Zoom, you're looking and you see people on the screen, but they're in flat boxes, and he wants to be able to be in these digital surreal meetings and be able to notice when someone moves to the side and have more of a 3D lifelike experience. Combine that with unprecedented interoperability, where all kind of the digital world, the internet world, which has grown, can be interfaced together. I noticed one of the journalists asked Mr. Zuckerberg about cooperation between companies. Not something Facebook is exactly known for. Facebook loves to eat companies or destroy them if they're a threat. But Mr. Zuckerberg says that's not what he's about now, and that the metaverse is about exposing people to more companies. And anyway, so this is the idea. This is what the metaverse is going to be. It's going to be this new unprecedented level of virtual simulation. Why? Like, what's the purpose? Why do we need a metaverse? Well, according to Mr. Zuckerberg, we need a metaverse because it communicates a clearer and will produce the clearest form of presence. This is how he described it, a clearer form of presence. Forgive me, but as an intentional non-Facebook user, I've never had Facebook, I've never used Facebook, and I have no interest in doing so. I find the justification for Facebook and the justification for a great expansion of Facebook into this metaverse on the basis of a clearer form of presence, I find that extremely ironic. In fact, the presuppositions behind the whole quest for virtual reality, artificial reality, and the metaverse is the insignificance of bodily presence. That is the presupposition between the digital connection. We have lots of data now about the consequences of the smartphone and digital life for human beings. And one thing is exceedingly clear. The more you use your digital reality, the less actual, tangible human interaction you have. The more cyber friends you have, the less real friends you have. So to justify the expansion of Facebook and the creation of Metaverse in order to actualize a clearer form of presence, as though presence is the goal, I find to be extremely ironic, since if you want presence to be the goal, meet with someone in embodied reality. Meet with someone in embodied reality. I find the presuppositions behind Facebook and the metaverse to be deeply Gnostic and the trivialization of the human body. Second, he says that one of the purposes of the metaverse is to build community. That is an old statement that he's been using. He trucked it out again for the creation, the next step of Facebook into the metaverse. Building community, and all I would say is that you could say that you're building a fake digital community in which you present yourself under the guise of an avatar in a fake way. That only allows a very thin level of personal discernment and interaction and significance. He also says the metaverse feels real. Emphasize, I would put on feels, meaning it's not. It's fake. At best, it's partial reality. He says it will allow us to teleport to places to be with our friends. There it is again. Facebook's definition of friends. We want to teleport to places so that we can, he says, box and dance with our friends. So I guess you can put yourself on the top of Mauna Loa in Hawaii and dance with your friends. How about working extra to save up the money to fly with your friend and go onto the top of Mauna Loa and do the real thing? I don't really know how you can have a deep satisfaction dancing with a cyber woman on the metaverse. I don't know how you can feel great practicing your Muay Thai or your MMA boxing with a cyber opponent whose punches don't leave you bloody. You aren't going to be learning the importance of this or that block by having cyber taps on your ribs. You need the real pain. This is the value of real boxing and real dancing. He also says that this will allow him, presumably, not just him, but he and his friends to, quote, push more authoritative information. Oh, wonderful. All we really need is more information. Of course, this concept of human flourishing, that humans flourish and will flourish better if they can acquire more and more information and process it faster. This is one of the presuppositions of all of the tech titans who universally reject fundamental theological positions. They're all strangely anti-religious, involved in bizarre transhumanist concepts. that place a very, very high level on brain function and speed. And here we have the justification for the metaverse being that you have more information, and then, of course, what he calls authoritative information. Of course, what Mr. Zuckerberg means is information that he and his fact checkers, all 35,000 of them at last count, I think, are deeming information for you to know and for you to see the true and authoritative information. What qualifies Mr. Zuckerberg to be the great sieve of what is true? What qualifies his fact checkers? This is beyond me. It's absolutely beyond me. I really don't think that the idea of expanding censorship is a great idea. And if the metaverse is, according to Mr. Zuckerberg's own description, going to greatly increase the ability to push authoritative information, it's something that we should oppose vigorously. He calls it the holy grail of social interaction. It will become the holy grail of social interaction. Actually, once again, that presupposes that social interaction doesn't require someone actually to be in another person's presence. You don't need your body. You don't even need your mind engaged in a person-to-person interaction. No, you just need to go onto the internet. What I would just say this, look, there's only one holy grail, and it is the most profound social and divine interaction. The holy grail is open to all people who believe and are worthy to receive a draught from the holy grail. Why pursue a phony union with a phony holy grail when we have the opportunity to have the deepest form of social and divine interaction by investing yourself in a parish community, developing real relationships of service and mutual love, and taking up your high calling as a worshiper of the Holy Trinity and being invited by him to his sacred table to partake of the real Holy Grail. I suggest that that's where we should put our interest and effort and not be seduced by language about the metaverse being the new Holy Grail of social interaction. Of course, he also threw in there that the metaverse was going to reduce inequality. Of course it is. Of course it is. Just like Facebook has done. This is why in Silicon Valley's explosion we have here in California the complete evisceration of our middle class. This is why we have the greatest amount by far of poverty and homeless people in the entire country. This is why we have over 40% of the entire nation's welfare recipients, because as the tech titans prosper, inequality disappears. This is just beyond ridiculous. Of course, Facebook and its partner companies destroy small businesses. They've turned the entrepreneurial ambition into something that many people simply won't invest in, since they know if they do succeed, they'll simply be bought up by Facebook, and the chances of true competition are very, very small. So I find it extremely ironic that the metaverse somehow is going to reduce inequality. What are the challenges? What are the challenges, according to Mr. Zuckerberg, that are facing him and his team at Facebook, now Meta, in order to create the metaverse? Well, he says the great challenge is to create the artificial reality, the VR glasses in normal glass shape, to be able to compact all of that tech that's going to allow you to live this super cool fake life in just a normal pair of glasses. This is the thrilling scientific exploration that Mr. Zuckerberg is offering to the world. Is you can make your life significant by helping him invent smaller glasses that can help you live a fake life. How wonderful. He also says that one of the challenges in going to the metaverse is to equalize gender participation, since most virtual reality participants are men. I find that also extremely ironic in this age in which the tech giants are trivializing sex differences and the very concept of biological sex getting behind movements that of transgenderism, suggesting that you can be a sex other than what you are biologically. And yet here he's saying it's so important for us to have both males and females equally representative. I find that living off of traditional presuppositions with regards to sexuality, which are justified by current movements that the tech titans themselves support. Well, there you have it. I'd like to make a few comments myself, other than the sarcasm that I have been throwing out against this extremely dark development in my mind. First is, let's embrace reality. Let's embrace the Lord God, men and women made in his image, community that's real. Let's embrace what it means to be a human being, body and soul, which is necessarily not to trivialize the body and not to seek some sort of communion only with your mind or only through a digital device. That doesn't mean that there's not some value that we can derive from digital devices. Obviously, we're using them at this very second for pedagogical purposes, but not to build friends, not to build community. Friendship is sacred. Human beings build friendships face to face in real interactions of sacrifice and love. So let's embrace reality and let's put aside the fakes. Let's take embodied existence seriously. Let's spend less time on screens and more time in our real community. More times with our spouse, more time with our children and grandchildren, more time with our parish communities, serving, more time with our neighbors, yes, and less time on the screens. Facebook is dehumanizing, and the metaverse will be even more dehumanizing. You know, I heard many years ago the best description of the functional use of Facebook, and I'll leave you with this. It comes from the contemporary Protestant scholar pastor, John Piper. I read somewhere that he said he had finally himself, after struggling for years as a pastor, to understand why God would allow Facebook to develop. He said he finally figured it out. He found that the purpose of Facebook was a purpose that would fully reveal itself on the day of judgment, when it would become clear that the lack of good deeds in so many people's lives was not the result of a lack of free time. Facebook would reveal that for sure. If you'd like to know more about my thoughts about the significance of the digital revolution, about the information age and the rise of the tech titans and what their agendas are, look at PNP's theological topics, and you can find there a series called Master or Slave ? Technology in the Christian Life. I think it's 10 lectures, and I hope it will be edifying for you. God be with you.
Patristic Nectar Publications is pleased to have completed our Philokalia project and now happily offers to our customers professional audio recordings of these sacred texts, absolutely free. The Philokalia is a collection of ecclesiastical writings from the 4th through 15th centuries, devoted to inner asceticism, the purification of the heart, and the acquisition of unceasing prayer. These holy writings have inspired thirsty Christians throughout the history of the Church and provide time-tested counsel in the quest for holiness. May God inspire us in our pursuit of pure prayer. To listen to the Philokalia, please visit our website at patristicnectar.org.